These are the Japanese anemones in a little circle at the end of the driveway. See if I can get in here without killing my daisies. Let's see, where's a good one? Oh, there's a good one over there. Look at that. Look at that green center. So pretty. But anyway, they sway in the wind. And we're getting a lot of that lately. All these coronal mass ejections. The green button inside there turns, or actually it turns a very vibrant green towards the blooming of the flower there. But you can see all these pretty little balls. Those are buds. So it'll be blooming really good. And down on the other side, those are my red crocosema. And the view at the end of our street here, our little dead end, is Black Angus. Got the Black Angus in the field there. Very pretty area. And this is my holy Shasta or hosta that the slugs like to eat. But every once in a while, I will put up a sacrificial hosta in certain places, and it draws the slugs away from my other hostas. So this one's nice. It's in an area where you really can't see it at this time of year when it gets so holy, because it's hidden by the Japanese anemones. So there you have my sacrificial hosta. Still got some daylilies that are blooming. I didn't do the stems the other day. But it's time to cut these daisies back now, most of them. They were fine the other day when I did the other ones. And you can see my crocosemas. These will all be bright and red and full. These down here get more light, so they're blossoming a little bit better than the others right now. But yeah, we have a very windy day again today. So I'm not bothering with pathways and the patio and stuff like that because it would be a fight. And I just moved my bird feeder down by the ponds because it was last year we got water up to the point of my bird feeder, and it made it very difficult for me to fill it during the spring. So that's what I did today, was I moved it. And you can see that those hostas are untouched by slugs because I have a sacrificial one. So for future gardeners, if you want your hostas to stay pretty, find out where your slugs are most abundant and plant a sacrificial one there. And then they will leave the others alone. And I did some watering today. Watered my little wheelbarrow full of flowers. I've got to do hummingbird feeders either today or tomorrow. I've got enough to last them today, but I'll have to definitely do them tomorrow. And I don't know if I have ever showed anybody Chandra's great big purchase. We had an issue with deer and our fig. And we planted this nice fig here several years ago. And the deer were chewing it off just as fast as it would grow. So Chandra, when we went to the Bremerton nursery, he found this owl. So now the owl is the guardian of the fig. And it's grown a lot. So that's my story about our owl. But I'll show you where I put the bird feed suet cake station down here. I took off the Lynn Latchin sign and cleaned that up because it was all moldy. That's one thing we get here is mold and moss. And this is my little garden going down to the ponds. And I walk very carefully through here because there are pine cones underfoot. And I don't know if you can see the pretty blue hydrangea. There we go. There's the blue hydrangea. Blue hydrangea and the purpley pink phlox. And then over here we have very, very tall snapdragons. So, and all these bushes back here, most of them are thimbleberries. And they never really produce much because they're in a shaded area all the time and I don't water them. And the blackberries intrude, so if I cut them all down to size and watered them and treated them like a garden, they would produce. But here's where I put the Lynn Latchin sign. That's what I call the pond. And I had a little sign made. Lynn Latchin in the Celtic language or Gaelic language means duckling pond. Well, I haven't had any ducklings, but I have had ducks in here. They come in here every year and they mate. But they don't breed here. And up at the top is the suet thing. And now I can at least get to it and not have to wade in the water. Because it was over where that grass is, and the cat over there was over in that area. And that fills in with water during the spring. Actually, it can fill in as early as the middle of October when we get rains. So moving it over here will save me from wading in the water to put suet out. Hopefully you can hear the running water. I had to reposition. I transplanted a cattail. And I put it over in that area. You can kind of see it sprawled out. It was in here and it was all falling over and the raccoons were making a mess out of everything. So I said, okay, I will put the cattail over there and weighed it down with a rock. But he obviously got in last night and it was floating on the top of the water. So I had to reposition it once again and put rocks over the roots. But it seems I am always repositioning things and fixing the pump and the filter, and he repositioned my rocks at the head of the waterfall there last night. That was what he was doing. He was playing up there, and I haven't fixed him yet. But every day I wake up and I say, oh, what is my project today? And lo and behold, this was the one today. So, among other things. So I will say over and out now from Lynn's garden. Well, not quite yet. Hold on. 2 years ago, my neighbor decided that they did not want these rhododendrons. And they were about half the size back then. I dug them up, and this is one of them. It's the one that gets the least amount of water. And the other one is down here. And I planted this one in the area where the water comes up to. And it is doing marvelously. This area stays damper during the summertime too. And this one has gotten nice and full. I've got a fern coming up in it. I'll have to get that out. But I do have rhododendrons planted in here. My foxglove is dying off. I did plant some goldenrod. I know it's a weed. I know people are allergic to it. I'm allergic to it too. But I did put in 2 plants of goldenrod because certain butterflies like it. And I figure, well, I can suffer. So I've got one blooming. And it looks like I've got things on it. And these are all rhodies in here. And rhododendrons. And then I do have my Jacob's ladder and St. John's wort, and I've got some grasses that I planted. I've got a lupin in there. And they all bloom at staggered times. So that is now over and out from Lynn's garden in Port Orchard, Washington. Bye now.